Watch this post with me about this extraordinary case with this lawyer who was explaining a very common situation in just about any court case. And the extraordinary part that the video wants you to look at is this lawyer getting emotional. But watch it real quick. If you've seen it before, fast forward it through to the end, or watch it again. It's a great clip. But I want to share my perspective at the end of this post. And disclaimer, I'm not a therapist or an attorney. I'm just a dad who's been through the family court journey, and I want to help.
Was there ever a particular case that you think about that broke your heart?
You're going to try to make me cry again, Stephen. This feels unfair.
What is the one case?
The one case that
broke your heart?
It was a case that I won that I should have lost. I represented a pimp. That's what he did for a living. He's in prison for a long, long time now. But at the time, he had very brutally abused a woman who he had children with. And the lawyer on the other side of the case, the lawyer who represented his co-parent, his victim, if you will, was very inexperienced. And a judge who was very impatient. The key piece of evidence they had was a photograph of this woman's face after my client had allegedly beat her up quite badly. And getting a photograph into evidence is very easy, but it requires a very specific phrasing. So what you say is, I'd like this to be marked for identification. You mark the photo, and then you hand it to the witness, or you hand it to the court officer who hands it to the witness, and you say, I'm showing you what's been marked as petitioner's 1 for identification. Do you recognize that? Yes. What do you recognize it to be? It's a photograph. Does that photograph fairly and accurately depict your face after he beat you up? Yes. Your Honor, I'd like it put into evidence. That's it. It's easy. For whatever reason, most likely lack of experience, opposing counsel, I guess, didn't know how to get a photograph into evidence. Now, normally in that situation, a judge will be helpful. But this judge was just not in the mood, and opposing counsel said, I'd like this to be marked. And then she said, could you hand it to the witness? And she said, what is that a photo of? So I did my job. I said, objection. She's asking about the contents of a document, not an evidence, which is my job. Judge said, sustained. So she said, okay, I'm sorry. Who took this photo? And she said, I don't know who took it. She says, okay, what is it a photo of? Stood up again, objection. Asking about the contents of a document, not an evidence. And I could see opposing counsel getting flustered because she didn't know the words. And my internal dialogue at that moment was, just say it. Like, just get it right. Just say fairly and accurately depict. Just say it. I remember looking at the judge and thinking, like, you're letting this happen. You're letting this happen. Don't let this happen. Like, she's poor. She's poor. That's why she's gonna lose. She's gonna lose because she's poor. And she can't afford a lawyer, and he's gonna win because he can afford a lawyer that knows how to put a document into evidence. And there's something really wrong about that. And the judge didn't, the judge just let her drown. And she asked 3 or 4 more questions that were the wrong questions. And then she just said, I don't know what to say, I'm sorry. And then she just sat down, and the case got dismissed.
Now, this post has tons of views, tons of comments. I scrolled through as many as I could, but I did not find the point I was looking for. And the point that I want to make evident to all the people who are going to family court, who are going through issues, wondering whether to go pro se or get an attorney, is this. Even though he cried, even though it was emotional for him, he did his job. He didn't help the person who was poor. Yes, he felt bad about it, but he didn't step in and help. He blamed the judge. He said, hey, the judge didn't step in and help either. But I want you guys to, if you haven't thought about it, haven't looked at it, hasn't crossed your mind this way, this is the way court is. It's definitely the scary part about court, but it's something you have to have on your peripheral when you're going to court, looking for your lawyers, talking to your lawyers, or if you're going by yourself. A lot of times, probably the majority of the time, these clergy of the court, the attorneys, the judge, whoever, they are not there for your best interest. It is a job to them. And if you don't present, if your attorney does not present the way it should go, they might know that you should win the case. They might know that you are the victim as opposed to the defendant. But they're not going to step in and help if you don't follow the correct processes or your attorney doesn't follow the correct processes. Knowing that, please take the utmost caution in deciding whether or not to use a lawyer or go pro se before you start your case. And in my opinion, do both. Get a lawyer, talk to your lawyer, and make sure you guys are on the same page for the fight that you want before you go into that court. And if they're not, change lawyers. But having the knowledge of the lawyer and what you want at the table at the same time is a much better fight than you fighting alone with no knowledge, hiring an attorney and not giving them enough knowledge about your case to help you win what is an actuality for you.